Hi, I'm Rob McLachlan. I'm lead designer on Still Wakes the Deep at the Chinese Room. Still Wakes the Deep is a first-person narrative horror game. It's about the unknowability of the universe. We're on a cracking and crumbling rig in the middle of the North Sea. There's a storm going on, it's extremely cold. If you fall in, you've got a 5-minute survival time. Our main character is Kaz McCleary. He's a working-class ex-boxer from Glasgow, and he's run away to an oil rig to escape his problems. But he's becoming estranged from his family, and his problems are catching up with him.
The way we describe it to ourselves is if Stanley Kubrick lost his mind shooting a documentary aboard an oil rig, this is how it would have looked. We took a lot of inspiration from sort of 70s naturalism like Loach and Lee, and then we moved through to a more sort of transcendental, experimental aesthetic from directors like Kubrick and Dario Argento.
I think the thing that I was most interested in from the beginning was the isolation. The feeling that you're on the oil rig on your own.
We actually just leaned into the oil rig environment. An oil rig is a kind of scary place anyway. The interiors are claustrophobic and hot. They're steamy, they're dark. With the exteriors, you're outside against the elements. With the North Sea there, a crazy storm. So yeah, I mean, we didn't really have to do too many tricks. Just imagine what it's like to be on an oil rig. And that's even before things get weird. Oh, Jesus.
So the Chinese Room is coming back to narrative horror. This has huge significance for us, and it's part of an arc that started with Dear Esther and Rapture and A Machine for Pigs, and we're really pleased to be carrying on that legacy.
Still Wakes the Deep is an evolution of the Chinese Rooms games. We've gone from Esther and Rapture, which are very much in their walking sim style, and I loved that. I really like those styles of games, but again, what drew me to the Chinese Room was this kind of game, a much more first-person narrative game. And when I heard about the plans for it and how they were going to expand on those things, I was super excited.
I think with all of the Chinese Room's titles, narrative is at the core, and that guides the entire experience from how we're doing storytelling through the environments, our characters, trying to build authenticity in our story. On Still Wakes the Deep, we had 3 core art direction pillars. So the first was making it personal, the second was authenticity, and the third is a terrible beauty. We did a lot of research. I mean, before starting this project, I had no idea about how oil rigs worked, what they looked like, what the experience of living on one would be. We were really lucky because there was a lot of archive footage from the 1970s on oil rigs.
BP have a huge online archive, some amazing stuff, which is almost exactly what we want about exploration in the North Sea and setting up oil rigs. It's really fascinating to learn. Another aspect of research which kind of plagues me a little is that I'm forever looking and taking pictures of pipes, signs, things like this. My holiday photos are just my family, my wife, my son, and then hundreds of photos of like boats or cranes and things like this, which do come in handy.
We've created virtually a whole oil rig for you to explore, and you'll gradually open up new areas. You'll visit a lot of the iconic places that you'd find an oil rig. So you'll get to stand on the helipad in the teeth of the storm, you'll get to see the derrick stretching up into the fog, and you'll get to clamber along the side of the flare stack out to the flames spreading out over the North Sea. One of the challenges for us, and one of the things that we spent a lot of time on, was the evolution of the rig. So you'll return to places that you've seen before, but they'll have been changed by the destruction of the rig, the gradual sinking and tilting of the rig, the flooding of the rig, and the damage that happens as a result of the events that you witness over the course of the game.
There were 2 quite big distinctions that we wanted to make when doing our research on oil rigs. One is to make sure that it didn't feel American and it felt distinctly British, particularly Scottish, because that's a huge part of our game. But also, things were very different in the 1970s. So in Still Wakes the Deep, our characters aren't typical, glamorous, good-looking people necessarily. We took a lot of inspiration from BBC documentaries, news footage, and even my stepdad features in one of the background characters. At the core of it, it's a very human story. Although there's cosmic and horror elements, it's really about getting to know the people on the rig, the crew, and understanding how they care about each other and want to survive this event. So our third pillar, Terrible Beauty, I'll probably try and keep that mysterious for now, but it's a lot about the duality between something that's fascinating and mesmerising, but also something that's horrifying.
Is it all right to say I'm kind of terrified? You know, now it's finally, people are actually going to see it, and it's no longer this kind of like fun thing that I do every day.
We're still making the game, but what I think I'm going to be really proud of is the attention to detail in storytelling and explaining our characters through the environments.
I think we've got a really strong pedigree here at the Chinese Room about working with horror and about working with narrative, and I'm really pleased that we can continue this with Still Wakes the Deep.
So much of our attention has gone into this game, and now it's in a state that we're really happy with. Hopefully people will like it.
We'd like as many people as possible to play Still Wakes the Deep. You don't have to be a hardcore gamer. You just need to be someone who's really willing to experience a new story from a new perspective in some extraordinary circumstances.